And we're gonna. Both players are ready in the feature match. So we'll bring them up. So it'll be Phil Jones on Mono White Taxes, Rob Meadows on Temur Delver. This is Meadows' self-proclaimed Temur month. Temur Delver is a big thing in Legacy right now, but how do you feel about it in Modern?
So I feel you are trying to outfare in an unfair format. So you have lots of linear decks that have synergies. The problem with Temur traditionally in this format is it doesn't have the can't daze and stifle, right? It doesn't have the mana denial plan. So you're trying to beat down with Tarmogoyfs or Tireless Trackers, trying to remand and Snapcaster Mage away to victory. It's a long road to hoe. Again, we'll see what kind of matchup he has here. I actually kind of like him against Mono White Taxes. Unless Phil opens up with a turn 1 Aether Vial, then I think he has a slight edge. But if Phil's forced to play a normal game of Magic, I think Robert actually gets her because his, being that he's Temur, he has Lightning Bolt and Remand. Those are both very strong cards. Yeah, Goyf does a good job about holding the fort.
Do you think he has his pet card in there of Nardum Renegade?
I didn't ask him. I forgot. I should have.
That is his pet card.
Nardum Renegade for
He
life.
loves Nardum Renegade. He is obsessed about that card.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't aware, this is week 3 of Temur cards I own for Robert. And again, Robert Meadow hype. Although he did leave Jake and I high and dry for the Team Open that's coming up in Columbus in a month or two.
Yes, it is Columbus.
Yeah, Jake confirms it's Columbus because he's playing with Harlan Fire, who is an actual good Magic player, and then another fine gentleman that also has an affinity for Temur colors. So Phil leads off with turn 1 Aether Ball like we talked about on the play. So this is actually Phil's best start because he doesn't have traditional mana dorks. Phil's issue in the past has been his access to white mana because he plays a lot of non-basics. Robert opens up, he fetches for a basic island. Robert has the basic swag on par as usual. He does love his particular set of basics. I actually can't see what set they're from. All right, leads off on his Serum Visions. Quick bottom for Robert. Passes back. Phil takes Vial up to 1, untaps. Let's see what kind of action he has. So he really is looking for a Lean and Arbiter or another 2-drop to push Robert. Ideally, he'd have a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben here. Looks like Phil doesn't have a play, just passes back. Robert untaps, makes his second land drop with Pain. I think he's going to drop his Tarmogoyf. Goyf is a 2/3 currently.
Robert with all the OGs. He's got the OG Future Sight Goyf, the OG Stopping Yard as well.
The correct ones.
The correct ones.
So Phil untaps after cycling what is the green-white cycling land called? I don't remember. I'm used to like Sheltered Thicket or things like that. All right, so Phil actually just plays a Blade Splicer, trigger, Golem comes into play. Of course, Blade Splicer is a 1/1 and gives all your other Golems first strike. Looks like he's kind of land light here. Oh, I'm sorry, he had the third one. It was just hiding.
In terms of who you talking about, Rob?
Yeah. Phil's got all he needs. I was saying before that, oh, vape. So, I was actually chastising another local player named Luke about his love of Vapor Snag, but apparently...
It's pretty good right there.
Apparently works.
It deals 1 Rose to Tarmogoyf. Phil's not at 9. That'd be way too good. He's at 19. Yeah. Takes the 3, it looks like, down to 16.
So I don't know if I like this, but Robert decides it's worth it to both the Blade Splicer. All right, Lean and Arbor. So this is actually going to be problematic. Oh, he actually... So, interesting interaction, though, for if you're not familiar. So as soon as Phil activated the Aether Vial by tapping it, Robert had the chance to respond. Because Robert did not respond when Lean and Arbiter comes in, he cannot crack his fetch without paying mana. So... you do have to respond to the tapping of the Aether Vial, not the creature coming into play. So Phil just gets to Stone Rain Robert. So Robert's actually, if he doesn't have another land in his hand, he's actually on one. He's actually on 1 lander right now.
Yeah, he looked like he was in a good position here, and then ever since that Arbiter came into play, not so much.
So and this is the start that I was talking about for Phil, where he can get ahead. Is turn 1 Aether Vial into Mana Denial like Lean and Arbiter. It looks like
Huntmaster was a draw there.
Was it Huntmaster or Delver?
That's a good point. He has both check cards now.
Yeah, I think it's probably a Delver.
He's gonna beat down for 4.
Ooh, winner chicken dinner.
It is a Delver.
So
right.
It's an interesting Delver though because you don't want it to flip because you want the land. This is new. If you want to bring up this one is
Militia Bugler.
Militia Bugler
out of M19.
Out of M19.
2 and a white. It's a 2/3 vigilant. When it enters the battlefield, look for the top 4 cards of your library. You pick one with a power 2 or less and put it into your hand. Rest on the bottom. People specking that card in the old school Ketros Monument decks and standard, but here Phil gemming it in modern. Found the value off it, correct?
He did. So I can't tell what the land he played was.
It is a rare land.
Looks
There's the Militia Bugler on your screen for you.
He's just getting his beat down on. Follows up with a Thalia.
Yeah, that is indeed a spicy card. I like it a lot. It helps him
Robert
keep the relevant threats coming.
So it looks like
attack for 4, and the Buglers are, oh boy.
We'll get our.
We're gonna flicker it again. Jeez.
All the
Phil
value.
Getting all the value.
Did he declare a blocker first?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Getting our life totals reset there. Unfortunately, Robert missed. He double missed because he didn't have a spell to do with something.
And he missed the land.
And he missed his land drop. So actually, this game's kind of running away from Robert. Very good interaction there. We're learning how to use our Flicker Wisp, baby.
Yeah, Phil is in the driver's seat. He has everything coming. Here's a Selfless Spirit now that he found off that Bugler number 2 that was flickered. He gets to protect his cards, even though Robert can get. He's a second Selfless Spirit.
All right, so now literally, I don't know how.
I don't know how Meadows wins this game.
I don't know how he wins. Actually, I would double block the Leonin Arbiter, 110%. So actually, I don't like this attack by Phil. You don't need to attack. You don't need to do this attack here. But 110%, unless he has another Flicker Wisp, then more power to you.
He decides not worth it. To be fair, whenever you're being attacked with Leonin Arbiter, short on land, it's not a good position.
Kind of still ballsy.
Goes, yeah,
I'm all about end of the game, but that's the card that's kind of holding it all together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So for game 2, what type of disruption does Mono White bring in? Is he looking for things like Canonists?
I imagine Canonists be a good one since Meadows wants to play efficiently, do a lot of cheap cards.
Looks like he has some chokes in his sideboard Wrath of God. He has the new white horse. I don't remember what exactly the name of the horse is. It's 1 colorless and 2 white.
Yes.
So it's 1 white for a 2/3. When it comes into play, you gain 3 life. Whenever it's targeted by a spell your opponent controls, you gain 3 life.
It could be a bad one. I mean, rather.
And it also can't be
one.
blocked by red creatures.
That is
so
correct.
that's not terribly relevant. Although I like it because that seems pretty good. It is Shield Mare.
Yeah, Shield Mare is the one. 1 white, 2/3. I like the can't be blocked by red, and I like that it targets. So it's going to gain you 3 life, and it's going to gain you 3 more life when inevitably it's for like a mono red matchup. Now of note, it says when your opponent targets, so he cannot flicker just the game. He gets the 3 life when it comes back into play, but you can't gain 6 life.
Yeah, interesting cycle here with the ponies. There's even a colorless one. It's a 1/3. Where you name a color. When you play a spell, that color, you gain a life.
Pretty interesting. People were calling the black one way too push between Goblin Chain Weather. And it turns out that people are now mainboarding Vine Mare, the green one.
The green one. So the green one's a 2 and 2 green for a 5/3 with hexproof. Can't be blocked by black creatures. It's clearly the best one of the set.
There's the blue one, Surge Mare.
Surge Mare. Surge Mare is a glorified. It has the ability of any of the. It's not Aquamoeba, but it's among that.
Yes.
They've printed a bunch of these where you gain power to lose toughness for an activated ability cost, right? And then it loots. Plague Mare is one he's talking about being pushed. It shields Shield Mare. Plan words. Can't be blocked by white. When it comes into play, creatures your opponent controls get -1/-1 till end of turn. There's the red one, which I think is probably by far the weakest. Lightning Mare.
Yes.
This has the text of can't be countered. It's red. Can't be blocked by blue creatures, and it has fire breathing for 2 mana, which is not that good for a premium, especially on a 3/1 that's so fragile.
I don't have the point of that.
And this one is way too pushed. What do you think about Vine Mare, Jake?
People have been complaining that Hexproof should not be a card thing anymore, mostly because of limited interactions. But this card is pushed for the fact that Mono Green decks are now mainboarding this.
So I've been watching a lot of Mono Green decks because this lets your Galta get out in a hurry, right? It's easy to cast because you don't care about it. Hexproof means it's a house to deal with. It's a 5/3. It's literally Diamond Mare is the colorless horsey. And it's a horse, so you can play 5-color horse travel.
Andrew Jessup went 17-0 in standard with 3 different decks. He played Grixis, he played Mono Green, and he played the Greater Cincinnati decks. 2 of those decks were pretty known quantities. The Mono Green deck came out of nowhere, even after Wizards said, hey, this is the best performing deck in Magic Online. And it turns out they were right, and it turns out they got even better. Matthew Phillips went 5-0 and had a 17-3 streak after that, putting 3 Vine Mares at his main board.
Yep, I was actually watching him stream.
And in a world where people are, jamming Grixis, jamming Bolus, jamming Blue Black.
I have some hype for. He has a history of building very strong decks. Caleb Durward was playing some standard stream last night. He was building dragons. He was using Dragon's Horde. He was using Sarkhan, the new Sarkhan.
Actually, Terrence, who normally plays here on Wednesdays for Stand, had a question about unclaimed territory and dragon. He wants to know if you name dragon, if you can still cast the Elder Dragons.
Yes.
Yes, I was pretty sure. I put it on a killer Google request on Twitter. They went unanswered, but I'm pretty sure that you're able to. Just because it's an Elder and a Dragon.
It's two different types,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Like there's Elf Druids.
Yes.
So you just have to name one of the types for it to be.
Thank you, Super Q0684 for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in here.
Elder is like a super type.
Yeah. I don't know, because Magic is a game where things are taken literally. Right. I didn't know how literal it got.
If you just think about it, the best analogy I can give you is elves again, because there's Elf Druids.
Yes.
There's Snake Elf Druids. You can name any of those three.
I cannot.
All right, so Robert probably with his best start here.
So much for that.
Immediately gets Path. So his best start was Grim Lavamancer. Over the
Narnar Renegade, do you think so?
Yeah. Pick off his creatures. Robert fills his graveyard because he's also playing some Delve creatures. He's playing some Hooting Mandrills that Dayton celebrity Justin Bieber.
Adam Minier, correct?
Adam Johnson.
I'm thinking of a different one.
Yeah, Biebs. He actually lives in Japan right now. He's for like the last 2 years.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Biebs works in Japan. We miss Biebs, but yeah, he was playing this at invitationals like years ago.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned missing Biebs. There are some interesting people in the room tonight. Billy Caminos, Ben Weiberg's in the room tonight.
Yeah,
Mike Augustine.
Michael Augustine hadn't played in about a year.
No, he came back.
Yeah, it's always funny when Augie comes back because he's quite the brewer and builder.
He was on Eldrazi before anyone else, I believe. Correct.
And the Lantern Control before this thing. Literally, I remember playing at a side event or just with him like 2 years ago. Year and a half, 2 years ago, and he was playing the Serum Powder Eldrazi deck.
So, Meadows has the turn 2. I have 3 mana for this Goyf. I'm not sure why he tapped the other source here.
Came in plate.
Was it a Path in the upkeep?
Yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, he has a 1. No, he has a 2/3. He has a 2/3 Tarmogoyf against the 1/1 Thalia. Yeah. So this is more what
land.
That's what Robert's looking for here.
Now here a little bit bigger. That's a sorcery, so he's got land, creature, it's a sorcery. It's a 4/5. He's going to filter the top of the deck 2. That Path from Field come in handy because that extra land allowed him to his play. Robert's got a shock. He's going to attack Phil down to 16 for 4, and it looks like he's going to follow up with a Delver that will probably be flipped.
Yeah, after he set it up. So
yeah, he kept one on top of that's correct.
So a little question that was going on yesterday with Magic Online streamers: is it worth, or actually this morning? Got brought up on. Oh,
Phil's going to scoop him up.
Interesting. Very, very quick.
It's a pretty aggressive start there from Meadows too. He had the 4/5 Goyf and the keep one on top, play the Delver pass. It's just like game one.
I want to know
wall there.
Can you bring up the chat on the screen so I can see it? Since Jake's
you can't see the screen over here.
Can't read it. I don't have eagle eyes. But so, anyways, the question got brought up today, and I'm interested to hear the chat spin on this too. How do you feel about Thought Scour and decks without the Delve mechanic?
So, are we talking about exclusively, like, the only thing they're doing with cards in a bin is Thought Scouring, or Delving, rather, or can we flash stuff back?
You can flash stuff back with Snapcaster Mage. You're not parting out a Tasker, Gurmet Angler, or Hooting Mandrill.
So, I don't like it as much because, when I played just a Death Shadow, there'd be times where I'm like, man, I really want to draw a certain card, and delving something's not going to be in the game. Getting a certain card's going to be in the game. So there's a lot of debating, what do I do with a Thought Scour to target them or target myself, and I just chose wrong every single time.
So I'm gonna
I don't like playing cards like Thought Scour without more than one thing to use it for.
So it is just an instant speed draw, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't just play that over Opt.
Yeah, exactly.
You are loading your graveyard, but technically, as LSV has explained multiple times, when you put cards in your graveyard, unless you have a very specific purpose, they're just random cards that you weren't going to draw anyways.
Fair, but
So it's like when your opponent Thought Scour target you to mill, right? Unless the ley line's out, it doesn't really do anything because for all intents and purposes, you were never going to draw that card to begin with. It doesn't matter. So milling your opponent, most of the time it's just correct to mill yourself. Obviously with a Snapcaster Mage, there's some added value. It's not as synergistic, but it does give you more options with your Snapcaster Mages. So I think it's okay, but I'd be more interested in the in the idea that I can just draw what I want instead of just taking random draw and hoping that I feel.
Yeah, that was my situation. Like, man, I sure hope I find the card I want, but with opt, I just don't know if you're not running Delphi, just why you just wouldn't want opt. It's a card that lets you see 2 cards. The Thought Scour is hope you don't build for what you need. Here's a card at random. Opt lets you give you a little bit of selection.
Yeah, I mean, it almost doesn't matter if you don't have if you don't have a Snapcaster in hand. It doesn't matter what goes in your graveyard.
Yeah, even more so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It didn't have any effect on your gameplay. Of course, you can be results oriented and say, "Oh man, I'm so unlucky. I milled my 1 win condition, right?" But it is what it is.
Yeah, at the same time, don't run 1 win condition.
All right, so Phil going back for your 2nd game in a row, going to 6. Let's see. Looks like Robert's going to keep his.
Meadows very violently and quickly shuffling his cards. He's a big flicker.
He is. He's quite the flicker.
He's a bigger flicker than I am.
You guys have nothing. You should watch Peter Johnson when he's Silverhand or Ben Weinberg. You want to see somebody destroy cardboard? Watch Ben Weinberg.
I have noticed that since they started double sleeving all my decks, the wear and tear has gone down dramatically.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what's the hand Phil's looking for here? He is on the play. I imagine he would love another Turn 1 Vial, but other than that, what's he looking for?
So the cards out of Phil, I hope he didn't bring in Rest in Peace, because I just don't think that's effective enough against Robert's style deck. He wants a Turn 1 Aether Vial, and then he needs a Thalia and like a Leonin Arbiter, right? Because he has to control Robert's resources one way or another.
Yes.
I don't think he can. I don't think there's really a draw where he's going to just provide a fantastic clock, unless Robert just doesn't have a Tarmogoyf. So he really wants to look to deny Robert, and it looks like he has a turn one Serum Visions.
Turn 1 Serum Visions from Robert, draws a bolt off it. Phil, no turn 1 play. I did see also
Snapcaster Mage, and there's a Delver.
Card, probably a Delver. I did see too Engineered Explosives in Robert's hand, and of course the interaction with that in a card like Thalia is you get that extra color if you so choose from having to pay the extra.
Yeah, it's also why you can Sunburst for 3 on Sunburst for 2 artifacts, which actually happens with ad nauseum. Very interesting interaction.
Yes, I think it happened last week. If correct.
Yeah, 1 Violence actually mentions he doesn't like Thoughtseize without Delve. I mean, sorry, Thought Scour without Delve. Which, I mean, to each their own. I'm sure there's some mathematical actual answer to that.
I imagine Carson's run the numbers on it.
Ran the numbers. All right, so Phil plays Horizon Canopy, takes the pain to play
Blade Splicer. See what Leon Arbiter, which got bolted by Meadows, and then a Blade Splicer. So he comes to the ground. No flip Delver, so no good attack here from Meadows.
He also knew he was going to draw a Snapcaster Mage too, right? Because he went top.
Yeah. He can't snap Bolt if he so chooses so.
I don't think he's really under pressure right now. He might just want to snap Serum Vision, so he sets up his Delver flip.
I can see that. Get that 3/2 flyer in the.
It'd be interesting if he takes 2 here, because again, the problem with these 3-color decks is your mana bases.
Yes.
Why does he choose not to? So it does look like he's going to go for Snap Serum Visions with how he fetched. I could be wrong, but
safer play. He's going to set up his draws.
Even if he bolts, he's only bolting half of a card, right?
Yes.
So he's trading his entire Snapcaster Mage for half of a card, which is just not that effective. So no. I think actually this is working out okay for Phil, and that the Leonin Arbiter ate a bolt. He really needs to follow this up with another actual.
He's going to bolt it. He's going to bolt the Blade Splicer.
Interesting. Wow, interesting. And he did that at sorcery speed. So
I see the logic in that. Phil was tapped out. There'd be no worse feeling in the world. He goes to do that if he's locked in that line of play, and then Phil just flicker wisp something in.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, you already have a Delver in play.
Yeah, so, I like the play better of filtering the drop sets, making sure that Delver flips that Phil misses.
Wow, Phil misses. I wonder what the numbers are on that one. Let's run the numbers on that one.
I don't think there's many creatures, if any, that have a greater power than 2 in his deck.
It's just Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
I think that's literally the only creature.
He's going to bolt again.
Fast and loose with these bolts.
Yeah.
He's just not going to race with 3 power, though.
Right. It's like he's locked into this game plan of trying to erase his opponent.
I mean, in his back pocket, he could always just EE for 0, right?
Yes.
And he could just blow that. I don't think that's how he's going to win this game. I think it's more win more. If you have to do that, then you're already winning anyways.
I think the easier line of game plan is to he's got a Vapor Snag. Okay, I'd like this play a lot better now. Vapor Snag coming again handy there.
And it's tough to wrap my head around because it's just not resource efficient, but it's how he had to deal with it. He really needs this Delver flip.
Here's a Thought Scour, 2 lands in a bin, draws a 3rd land, it looked like.
So if Phil obviously must not have anything, because if he has instant speed interaction, he should have done it.
4 straight lands there up the top for Meadows. 2 in the bin, 2 in the hand. Here's another attack for 3.
Does they have a Restoration Angel? See, this one I could see Sorcerer speeding instead of trying to ambush Viper it.
Nothing.
Okay, I'm not really sure what he's got going on.
I think I see a path in there. We got an Aven Mind Sensor.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, he's just... For a mono white deck, he's taking quite a bit of pain damage off those Rising Canopies.
He's also not currently the beatdown. He's getting beat down. So
Yes.
he might have been better served to just trade with the Delver. Because all your creatures are better on the ground than Snapcaster Mage.
Here's Blade Splicer number 2.
Yeah.
Goes to 8 for
I used to get these draws with Elves where you just get mono Horizon Canopy. Interesting, he didn't attack.
Again, Delver does not flip, but he drew a non-land card. It might have been another Snapcaster Mage, actually.
I think he missed a good opportunity there to get his beats on. Robert could also EE for 3 here, which would be really bad for Phil.
He's going to do just that.
So that gets rid of both Aven Mind Sensor and the Blade Splicer, leaving the token.
Yes. But no good attacks for Meadows. He just has to pass it back against that 3/3 Golem.
Yeah, so how does Phil get back in this game? Obviously, his worst draws are like Aether Vial. He can Bugler into another threat.
There's a Bugler.
But he is
He's
just
down to 7 again.
Just killing himself with his mana base.
Let's see if he hits. I'd be shocked if he misses again.
It's like a Thraben Inspector. I know he doesn't play that. Wow.
Miss 2 straight misses.
Wow, that's
off this M19.
So it's 0 out of 8 with how many creatures in the deck? So somebody in the chat who's good with a hypergeometric calculator.
And here comes. Yeah, he's got a Snapcaster in hand, so he can.
It's not lethal yet.
Not quite yet, but he can
So he's
snap
at 4,
bolt.
snap bolt.
But instead, we're gonna he's going to 6 Gs. Phil living on the edge. This Meadows not going to search. Only we can search. He's got 3 basics out. Draws another snap.
Bottom. All I care about is... Oh, I think he's going to keep the Goyf on top.
Is he the Goyf? That was a red card, too.
Well, it was a land. It was Goyf land.
Goyf land, okay.
Yeah, Golf Scouting Tarn. Yep. Ryan is correct.
Goyf stays. Thank you, One Valent, for the sub. Thanks for coming back in there with the Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Hope you had a happy Prime Day and picked up some stuff you wanted. So he's actually gonna...
I thought we were boycotting Prime.
Hold on a second. Is that Banefire?
No, that was a Flame Slash.
It's a Flame Slash, okay.
Yeah.
Meadows.
Okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Meadows adding to the board. Trying to make an insurmountable position here.
Yeah, Ron says it's really hard to boycott Prime though when Twitch is owned by Amazon. It was just for other countries not using Amazon Prime. We have a Mirran Crusader.
Okay.
Little late there.
Late to the party. He doesn't take any damage.
Does hold off the 5/6.
That is true.
A gigantic 5/6.
But there's a Flame Slash.
We're gonna kill your Mirran Crusader and then beat your face in. And everybody's getting on the party.
I think he's another snap in hand too.
Yeah.
So goodbye, Mirran Crusader.
Send the boys.
And here we maybe. There's no reason not to attack with the.
Oh no! You don't. You can't attack. Yeah, the Goyf will put him to 1. So your obvious blocks are kill, but you have to line it up like that. Actually, I'd switch those blocks if I'm Phil, but
you would not block the Goyf.
I would block the Goyf with the creature and keep the 3/3.
Okay. He's going to crack the canopy draw card, just scoops it back up.
The match.
Robert Meadows gets this match 2-1.
Yeah.
Temur Delver off to a good start. And a pretty important one, because again, coming into the night, these players are tied to the logjam for 2nd place.
Ling Gaojing, yeah, he is playing the Hooting Mandrills.
So again, David Weisenberg came into the night in 1st place with 12, and then Phil Jones.